Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Roofer2Roofer show. On this episode, we have John Starry and Scott Tebay. And in this episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about production, some of the do's and don'ts, and then lessons learned in the field. So we'll start with our first question here. What are the first steps I should take immediately after a client signs a roofing quote to prep for production? All right, John, you're up.
Oh, I'm starting? Okay. So communication isn't supposed to end the moment that they sign off with us, right? I mean, that's when it should really kind of ramp up even more. Um, some of the things that we do to prep people for install day is we send them instructional videos, tips on how to prepare for their install day. Like, we let them know, like, "Hey, take some photos down, if you have stuff on your walls, like, and it means anything to you, take it down for the day. I don't want that stuff getting broken," right? Tell them to mow their yard, within 3 days of us actually coming out there. The lower the grass is, the easier it is for us to actually do an effective cleanup. But, on top of that, just really letting them know who to contact, right? If something comes up, and they wanted to be there, but now they no longer can be, right? They need to know who to contact to reschedule that installation. They need to know like who their first point of contact is. They need to know who their on-site site supervisor is going to be and things, right? The more people that they have access to and the more that you can communicate to them, the smoother that entire experience goes and the happier they are at the end of the day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Scott, are you doing anything different?
Not really. I mean, I think that's spot on because I mean, as roofing companies kind of turning into more sales companies than anything at this point, um, the communication is always killer, right? Up until the sale. The problem is the difference in great companies and not great companies is the communication after the sale. So, um, you know, I've actually got one right now that, we have some issues on, and the guy is not I wouldn't call him a reasonable man, and that's okay. You get those sometimes. He was calling us at 2 o'clock in the morning last night with a leak, and, not a bad one, but, a leak nonetheless, and, we were there at 9 o'clock this morning with a team to fix it. So, um, all the but that's that communication, always being in contact, always taking care of the customer, taking care of their issues, and doing what you're paid to do. So,
Yeah, no, that
We've really cranked up like our on-site visibility and stuff though too here. And I know that this doesn't have much to do with the question, but we started using caution tape the entire perimeter of the property. Um, always making sure that we have proper signage up. I mean, we have 2 yard flags that we use on every single job. We put a yard sign out there. Like, we want people to know who the hell is actually replacing the roof over there, right? Um, so, but yeah, that has nothing to do with the communication leading up to. But man, like, it sure does make for a pretty job site whenever it's happening, though, right?
you can totally. I think it's all relevant. I think that makes a ton of sense, and if it can help one of our listeners, feel free to talk about anything at all. Okay, so what are some tips for quality control when you guys are on the job?
I think the biggest thing with quality control is, for us, is training the guys that's on the job site. Um, I know John runs a system where, John and I are obviously close, so we share tips, right? Um, or just beat the hell out of each other, one or the other. So he does some things where he has people from his team physically on site the entire time. I don't. We do it a little bit different. But what we do is we train our people and our crews how we want the job performed and then how to document that production. So our guys are very, very good about using company cam. Um, we love Proline's photo tool, but our crews are just well versed in company cam. So we've stuck with that currently until this winter. We're gonna make a switch. But um so we're able to manage that production from an office. Someone in the office, it's actually me, I am the one that kind of keeps an eye on a lot of that stuff. The sales guys are supposed to. I would say I understand roofing better than anybody on my team, unfortunately. I've nailed a lot of shingles in my day, so that's where I thrive. So I'm always looking for errors. I'm looking for things that, I see that I don't like, and the crews are great about, documenting what they've been doing, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. They're documenting, and we're able to kind of keep an eye on that from a distance. And then we're very good about doing our project closeouts. So when we close out a job, that's physically showing up in person, walking the job. We've got a checklist to walk through the inspection. Um, and at that point, we can measure the quality control. Did we do a good job through the production process, or are there things that we need to go back and start, you know, bringing up to the crews and letting them know that these are errors that we can't have. So that's how we do it.
Yeah, makes sense. Another aspect of communication kind of coming into for the win there. What about you, John?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a certain level of on-site supervision and whatnot. So aside from our suppliers getting our material lists sent directly to them with a photo of the home, our crews are actually also sent the actual material list. So they should be able to know like how many sticks of drip edge are supposed to be there, what color the shingles are supposed to be, how many bundles are supposed to be there, how many rolls of underlayment are supposed to be there. But they do these checks and things as we're actually there on site. In addition, we started installing toe boards around the perimeter of the eaves and thing to prevent any kind of like tear off from actually hitting the ground in a lot of situations. Um, we've been really kind of stepping up our game in regard to quality control. I don't want us tearing screens and things around like pool enclosures and whatnot. So we've been making some changes and actually improving our on-site quality control in addition to ensuring that everything that we actually ordered is actually there. So uh, it's only those situations where things aren't there that you really kind of run into some issues aside from, the one-off situations where, we pierce an AC line or, anything can happen. But the things that we can control, we have a pretty good handle on. And we do it by way of checks and balances and on-site supervision.
I'm curious about that. When you say protecting the pool cages, what protocols are you putting in place to keep that from happening?
So basically, we started installing 1x6 toe boards around the perimeter edge of the roof. So as they're tearing it off from the top, those nails aren't going past those toe boards, that they're actually stopping them from actually rolling onto the grass or onto the screens or tearing any of that stuff. So we just started doing it. So I can't really share any kind of pretty pictures with you, but um, it should be pretty awesome.
Awesome. Love that. Lots of pools here in Florida, so hopefully our listeners are getting
No, I need one. Scott was making fun of me the other day for a new vehicle that I picked up.
Scott. What got into you?
So mean to me.
Oh, that's fun. Makes the day go by faster for sure. So how do you guys feel about like checking materials when they arrive to the job? Is that something you guys have your team do prior to the production day?
We don't anymore. We used to almost every job. So now with Proline, we send our subs the work order. The work order details what should be their color, picture of the home, the whole deal, right? But our ABC is just great. That like we've at one point, we had a certain sales rep or different sales reps at the supplier that just weren't great. Um, the fellow that's in there now that has our account, he takes care of us and not just a little bit, like he doesn't miss. And not only does he not miss, he'll go out of his way if he does. If something's screwed up, the moment we call him, he screwed up, he's fixing it. So the amount of times that it's wrong in a year's time might be a couple. And when you're doing 1,000 roofs a year, twice is not too bad. To have an error to let's just say it's even 5 times, right? Like 5 times is not too bad. It's not worth our time to go out there and verify those materials because Tim is so good that if we call him at installation time, when our crew shows up and checks on the order, because they always do, they show up and check on the order and they're like, hey, this is Biscayne blue, not hickory. We make a phone call and within an hour or two, that's switched, which is plenty of time, no issues, nothing got slowed down, everything's good to go. So because of our relationship with our supplier, we have cut out going and checking on it.
So would you say that's like the cheat code is finding a supplier who you can develop a good relationship, who's reputable over than kind of shopping around for different.
Here's the way I look at things. I want to have as few employees as possible and do as much volume as possible. Right. So for us, I actually just did this because John Delorier asked me to. We're going to do about $10 million with 10 employees worth of revenue versus employees. I don't actually like that stat. I would rather, which industry standard says that's really good. I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is because we just started a new location this year with 3 employees that only did right now about $1.5 million. So that one location is kind of bogged down the company stat. That's okay. We know it. It's not a big deal. But the way I look at things is I want to utilize relationships to save employees. So if I can utilize a relationship at ABC, mind you, they give me the best price. Like I make sure I keep them honest. I every year, once a year, at the beginning of the year, I always get prices from the other suppliers in the area. They only get beat typically by the box stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. There's no service there. I can't shop there. I'm buying freaking too many roofs. I buy more roofs in one day than what Home Depot can supply us in a week. So I can't do that. So what I got to do is be realistic and look at the people that can supply me. And there's only a few. And ABC always makes sure that they are competitive. It's so close, or they're beating them that I'm not going to sweat it. And I almost have a dedicated employee, Tim, out of that branch that literally we pick the phone up. He's part of the team. Like he even comes to all of our company lunches, you know what I mean? So anything we do, he's just part of. So he came to our Christmas party last year. He's not an employee. We don't pay him nothing, but he is on our team. So I highly recommend making those relationships. And that goes with anything. Anytime you can have that great of a relationship with somebody, there's value to that. Monetary value also, not just feel good value. There's actually monetary value that can come with all that. Tim saving me a $50,000-$60,000 a year salary just because our relationship's great.
What about you, John? You experience anything different?
I mean, there was a lot said there. But no, I mean, nah, I do definitely agree though. I mean, we verify everything on site, and having a good solid relationship with a supplier can quite literally be the equivalent of having another employee on staff if you have that type of relationship with them. And like the supplier that we work with, I mean, we do the same thing. We keep them honest. We do a little bit more than once a year. But end of the day, they do admit fault. Whenever they screw something up, they make it right. And end of the day, I mean, they're very involved in our day to day and our process, and they have relationship with all of my site supervisors, the people that are doing the material ordering, all that. So having a really good, solid relationship with our supplier makes a huge difference. And I don't really use ABC exclusively or anything like that. Most of our business does go through QXL, but I mean, end of the day, it's all about service and pricing. Whoever can give us aggressive pricing and the best service is who's going to win. So
Heard that. All right. What technology can you use to improve your roof installations? And I'm also going to go ahead and ask the audience to send some through. Oh, looks like we did get a couple. Cool. So you can answer my question first, and then we'll kind of pivot over to the audience.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, you're good. What technology will help you scale your roofing business?
Well, Proline, of course. Um, we we love Proline. It's obviously that's part of the reason we're doing this podcast with Proline. Um, is because of our support with them. Um, it's really I went from working probably 70-hour a week minimum. I don't know. I might work 20 hours a week now, maybe. Like that'd probably be a big week for me, honestly, at this point. Um, I just don't have to because we were able to take that software, and it's not just the software, it's my company's implementation of it. That's the problem everybody's got. Everybody thinks that they can just buy a $800 a month piece of tech and their problems go away. That's not it. You have to buy that $800 or more piece of tech, and then you have to implement it well with systems and processes. And we did. It took time. It was not something that happened overnight. We actually, one of us, 2 or 3 winters ago, when we switched to Proline. But regardless, me and 2 employees, we obviously have a significant amount of downtime in the winter. Um, so we spent probably 2 months, and the majority of our days were spent on building processes in Proline and really getting it to work for us. Um, man, once we did, we even my sales guys, like, they don't even want me to hire production teams because the way we have things set up in Proline, they know that I will require them to charge more money because we'll have higher overhead. They're like, "Piss on that. This is too easy. Like, we don't need those extra overhead employees. We'll just run with what we've got because it works well for us. It's not hardly any work. Um, and I don't have to charge more to my customer, which means I'll sell more." So for us, it's a no-brainer. Again, I love Company Cam. You asked what pieces of technology. I love Company Cam. I know that's actually one of the questions we've got coming up here. Um, Zero dislike about Company Cam. Love it. I just love more everything being in one place. And that's what Proline's photo feature enables. I don't have to work in 2 places. I work in one app. I can literally do everything I need to do. So, um, yeah, but until then, those were the 2 pieces of software that in my opinion, the last 2 years, 3 years, we couldn't live without. If we didn't have them, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today.
That makes you happy. I'm glad you found something that works for you. I'm even more happy that it's us. Yeah.
But Scott has definitely done a lot as far as customizing things, probably to the extent more than anybody anybody that I've seen. Um, we haven't quite gotten to that point, but the nice thing about it all is that what is baked in there to Proline is better than nothing. Number one, and that's what our competitors are doing. Like they don't have any of that. So, that right there just gives us such a huge competitive advantage. But there's not, just like Scott said, I mean, there's not a tech stack out there that, if you don't take the time to invest into like truly implementing it into your business and making it unique to you and to your business and processes, it it's just throwing money away at this point. Um, but I don't really use anything aside from Company Cam, Proline, and Gmail. Like those are the things that we use. We have everything that we need in those 3 pieces of software right there. And when it comes to roofing and things, there's no tech really involved in that. It's just labor, you know. Um, but the way that you kind of implement and use each of those things it should 100% be unique from company to company. And like Scott does some really amazing stuff with the way that he's made Proline work for him. He's kind of like my big little brother.
What an honor, Scott. What an honor.
No doubt.
No, the big brother's tougher though. Still,
Iron sharpens iron, fellas. Iron sharpens iron. Okay.
Here's how roofers make it home for dinner every single night without losing a single sale, even when they're one-man shows. Automate your communication with Proline, the only communication-first CRM for roofers. Because when you fix your communication, you'll sell more jobs. Your weekends will smell more like sunscreen and backyard barbecues than that crappy gas station coffee. And all you gotta do is ask these roofers.
Where we had about 200% growth, and I attribute that to incorporating Proline.
But just with one automation, I was able to get 25 Google reviews.
it's been absolutely insane how quickly we were able to grow.
Now, Proline's not gonna win the beauty pageant, but it will save your Saturday. Now, back to the show.
Cool. Well, we'll go through some of these questions from the audience now. Our first one is going to be from an anonymous attendee. With the rise of AI and VAs, how are you changing your accounting processes? Or if you were to start from scratch, how would you implement?
This might be a good one for John because I'll be honest, I utilize AI, I utilize VAs. I have them to nothing to do with accounting. I believe I want my accounting in the hands of someone I trust, know, care about. And you know, let's be honest, I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not vouching for that. But we have to, in today's world, as business owners and entrepreneurs, we have to be creative with our accounting, right? And I'm not saying just writing shit off that shouldn't be wrote off. I'm saying, taking the proper deductions, finding places we can save money, not even tax related stuff, but we're seeing that we're spending X on something. I want my accounting team to look for other avenues that we could be getting the same service that's less expensive. So things like that, AI can't do. Maybe VAs could, but for the life of me, if you wanted the God's honest truth, my mom does my bookkeeping. So,
Who's more trustworthy than that?
hey, that lady saves me more money in a year's time than I pay her in 3. So it's like just because she cares, right? Like she really cares that the company does well and that we're not being taken advantage of. Because when you start doing real volume, real profit, real revenue, people take advantage of it. Like they just take advantage of it. They know that, oh, he's not going to care about this couple grand here or this few $100 here or that. Well, guess what? My mom cares. She ain't going to put up with it. She will make sure that is nicked in the butt right away. So John might have a better solution, but I don't utilize either of those for accounting. We utilize them for a lot of other things, customer interaction, marketing, phone services, all that stuff, but we don't use it for accounting.
I use Scott's mom too. No, I have a bookkeeper that reconciles my accounts every month. I don't use AI to do anything to do with accounting. I do have an in-house person that does like all the invoices and all the accounts payable and receivables and things. And then my bookkeeper basically just keeps us ready to go for tax season and things, I wouldn't trust AI I don't even know what's out there on the accounting side for AI to even implement any of that. But I don't know if I would really truly, I don't know if I would really buy into doing that though. I think there's a big benefit to having like a real human look at like numbers like that, I mean, the only thing I'm really using AI for is content creation. Like I made a stupid Bob Ross video the other day and, like that was super cool. Cause I was like, man, that really looks like Bob Ross. But, And then like I use it for blog creations and things like that. But as far as tasks like that, uh, I keep that to humans.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. We also had a question come through about 10 minutes ago, probably when we were talking about company cam. And Ryan asked, dropping company cam for what? Do either of you remember?
Yeah, no. So I said that I was probably gonna drop company cam this winter. We try to make any significant business changes in the winter. I know a lot of people in the northern part of the country, or actually in 80% of the country, where we experience 4 seasons. I feel blessed. A lot of people hate it, but I love that downtime. Like we make sure that we prepare for it all year long and we're ready for it and we take full advantage of it. That's when we build business. Like we create relationships, we make changes to the company that need to be made, do all these things. So for me, I'm not going to drop just like John, Proline, company cam, G Suite, like that's all we have. So I'm not going to axe a third of our tech stack in the mid season when I can just wait till December, January and do it then. And then, build a new process to implement that same strategy elsewhere. Because Proline is now offering, I wouldn't, I won't be unrealistic and call it the same software. It's not, but I do believe it's good enough and close enough to what I need to where I could bring that photo technology, video technology into one system where I've got everything else going on. So I wouldn't need company cam. I can do all the photo stuff inside of Proline. Um, yes, that's why I would be dropping it. Not that I don't love it. I think it's as good of a piece of technology as there is for the contracting space. But my CRM offers it something comparable. It's good enough, and I will take that.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of that. I'm not planning on changing away from company cam. And I don't even think that I fully utilize company cam. Just because I don't like some of the ways that they do. But the reason why I'm personally not going to move away from company cam is because I have so many plugins on my website that actually pull the data and the photos and things that we actually showcase online directly from company cam, that like having to re-engineer and redo all that stuff just does not sound like something that I even want to partake in. I think my time could be better used for other things. I mean, company cam's not broken, it's not perfect, and the way that certain things are done in there, but I mean, it's the closest thing that you're going to have to, you know, being what you need it to do while you're in the field and things. Like you can invite collaborators. You can use checklists. I don't like how they have checklists in there. I think it's kind of like it was almost implemented as like an afterthought almost, right? But there's a lot of powerful things that you can do with company cam, and there's a lot of powerful integrations that come from using company cam that I personally am not going to be shifting away from, no matter how good the photo app gets in Proline, unfortunately.
Fair enough, Joe. Do what works for you. All right, we got another one. So, to your example of 10 employees for 10 million, how do you structure? What roles would you have under 5 million?
Yeah, so there's, and I know Adam Sands did a big piece on this at one point. Adam's a brilliant guy. So I always take what he says, to heart. He always claimed that, outside of labor staff, you should be doing $1 million per employee. That would be like a- an exceptional roofing company. So what that entails for me is admin, like office staff, office manager, receptionist, whatever, and then sales guys. So for me, I actually have 7 sales reps, 2 office ladies. I don't know what you want to call them. One of them is office manager, one is a receptionist. And then I have one field technician. And when I say field technician, he's kind of, I would call him a production manager is probably like the right title. So he's definitely included in that, and that makes 10. Um, I don't count myself at this point because I do so little that I'm the orchestrator of a circus. I kind of just, throw my 2 cents in when it needs it. And other than that, I kind of stay out of the road because it works. Um, there was a second part to that question.
Oh, where would you classify the roles that are under 5 mil? Like, what would those roles be?
Yeah. So, okay. We've actually talked about this a few times. So I believe to do 5 million, okay. I think you can do 3 million with no help. I really believe that. I believe you by yourself as the owner, as the sales rep, as the production manager, as the office manager, everything. I think you can do 3 million by yourself. I'm not even convinced you couldn't do 5 million by yourself with a couple VAs. And John, you can probably chime in on that. I know you utilize VAs better than I do. But if you have somebody answering your phones for you and somebody kind of managing some of that interaction during production and billing and different things like that, I've got a sales rep that does $4 million a year and he manages all of his own production. So, and he's a sales rep. Like he's not the owner. The owner, without a doubt, can sell more than a rep because you have the passion, you have the drive, you have the name. Like John Starry can show up at a job and say, "I'm the owner of Steadfast." Well, guess what? You already have an advantage versus your competitor that, "Hi, I'm a sales rep for blah 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 roofing." You already have an advantage because the owner's standing at the door. So your close rate is going to be higher. You're going to get more money out of the job. Um, I'm not sure that at 5 million you can't do that with just some VAs. But if I was going to try to build a $5 million company in 1 year, I would automatically start out with a receptionist and I would automatically start out with a office manager, and I would do all the selling and all the production management. That's what I would do. Some people would want salespeople, but the owner sells better than everybody, and that is 100% statistically correct. Like anytime you look at that, the owner will outsell the salespeople.
So our first year we did 4.3. And I did 3.7 of that on my own. And like it was too much. But I hadn't been using VAs at the time. I did steal my wife away. Like she was a teacher at the time that she absolutely like she hated that job. So I mean, maybe I didn't steal her away, maybe I saved her a little bit, but regardless, I think doing 5 on your own, while it could be done, it would be a lot. But I mean, if I were to structure a $5 million company and things, right? I would basically have one salesperson, one person in the office, kind of like handling phone calls, pulling permits, order materials, things like that. And then probably just have something that's just like in charge of marketing, the brand awareness, the developing new business, the developing new lead sources, making sure that, the money that is being spent is actually being spent wisely and things, right? And just covering the overall operations, I guess, I think you could do it with 3 people relatively easily. And absolutely, you could use a VA for one of those roles. Um, I use my VAs for something completely different though at this point. Like I use them for just social media outreach. I have them for follow-ups, both like speed to lead follow-ups, but also, after their install, like I want them reaching out after 30 days and whatnot. just really making sure that like we delivered a 5-star experience. And if we didn't collect a review from them, we're hitting them again with a referral request and a review request, right? Um, End of the day, like you can scale to 5 million relatively easy if you just have the right processes and things in place. And I think a lot of people just want to get right into it, running and gunning and like scorched earth, and they don't have that all thought and laid out to the point where they can like really affect. So a lot of people try to get there, but fall a little bit short of things, right? So having the right people and the right process in place is the first thing you need to go to 5. And then to get to 5, I think you could do it with 3 people.
Fair enough. All right, we got another one from Ryan. Are you using the customer portal to communicate start and date changes to customers?
Is this in Proline?
Obviously, yes.
I don't. We don't. No, everything's done via sales rep text message through their Proline thing. We don't use a lot. I mean, I'm assuming that's different. I don't know. The customer portal. I don't know what that is.
We don't utilize the customer portal either. But what we do, we provide them a project timeline with Company Cam, right? The day that the job starts. My production team contacts them, like they let them know when materials are going to get delivered. They let them know what time the crew is going to show up. And then our automations just kind of fill in all the gaps in between there. So like what to expect for install day, checklist of, what they should do to prepare for it. And the introduction emails to all the people that are actually going to be involved in their project so they know who to reach out to. So we don't use the project. What is it again?
Portal?
Project portal. There you go.
Don't use it. Fair enough.
I'd like to, but we don't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Waiting for winter to come.
Ooh, sorry, John. What'd you say?
Waiting for winter to come.
You don't get winter.
We did get another one over here from Julian. When is Proline dropping that feature, don't gatekeep? Julian, can you confirm, are you talking about the fixture functionality? And when are we dropping the feature?
I'm pretty sure that's what it was because I saw it come through when I was asking that or talking about it. It's already live. It is live. Like right now. I've fooled around with it. I don't want to say that I've mastered it by any means because I've just fooled around with it. But it's live. Like, and I think it's V2, right? Like not V1 came out, then V2 came out, and I think V2 is out of beta and 100% live to any user. Is that right, Allie?
I think that's right, but I would have to confirm.
I demoed V1. I didn't care for it, and I talked to James, and then he sent me the stuff for V2, and that was 4 months ago. A while, like it's been a bit. So I believe that's all rocking and rolling now. So like, if you want to use it, it's available to use right now.
Awesome. Get after it, Julian. All right, we got another one in here. When it comes to measurements, how you're saving. I find it so difficult to even think about leaving cover.
Yeah. Hovers can be expensive. We use Hover every once in a while. I'll tell you a cheat code. We use Hover just every once in a while, and every once in a while we sign up for their free subscription. So that's how we didn't pay what the full price is because it gets kind of expensive. We use it when it's a really complicated job, like when it's really nasty and it includes siding and soffit and all, when it's just a really big complex project. That's when we'll use Hover. 95% of the time we utilize GAF QuickMeasure. It's $18 per report. In my opinion, the reports are every bit as good, if not even better than EagleView. They're full, great, well-built reports. The other service that I love for measurements, not for anything but measurements, is Roofer or Roofar, whatever you want to call it. It is a great measurement tool. Now, I say that with some hesitancy because that to me, that's what they're great at. I believe as a contractor, and I'm sure that somebody won't like me saying this, I believe that's where they should have stayed. They should have stayed in their lane at what they were. Honestly, I think they were the best measurement company. I think they were the best to deal with. They had the best reports. They had the DIY options. The price point was unbelievable. Like everything they did with measurements was the best. And then they started venturing into what they call the CRM space, which really isn't a CRM. It's more so a production management tool, I would call it. I've used it. I was a customer, so I know um, to an extent. Um, but as far as measurements go, cheap, affordable, like great measurements, Roofer's good too. I like QuickMeasure because it does have a direct integration with Proline. I'm also a GAF Master Elite, so I get some discounts and different things like that. But I order that report straight through Proline through 2 clicks. Within an hour, it automatically populates into Proline. I don't have to go anywhere else to find that report. It's in Proline, so that's why I love it.
Easy breezy.
So I would share the same sentiments about Roofer. I use them strictly for measurements. They're absolutely and we're primarily just using the DIYs too. I'm kind of I kind of feel a little indifferent about, ordering reports because a lot of the roofs that we measure down here in Florida are, I mean, there's such visible um, views of those from satellite imagery that, it's really hard to get them wrong. And most of the homes that we're re-roofing are not super duper complex. Now, whenever there is a level of complexity in things, yeah, I'll go in and I'll order a report and have that ready to go. And typically I do use GAF QuickMeasure. But that doesn't always work either, especially whenever, it comes to cloud, tree cover and things like that. So, what I've been using is something called Roof Scope, for those like super complex ones that, there's a lot of tree cover on. And that's worked pretty well for us. However, I still like to verify that everything that's on that roof is actually accounted for because, again, I just have a real big trust issue with like roof reports. So
That's a good point too. Real quick, I won't make this long, but your part of the country makes a difference. Where
yeah,
I live, tons of trees, tons of tree cover, tons of homes in the middle of the woods, tons of really, really complex old historical homes. I mean, like you drive through my community, everything's 12 on 12 pitch with 25 facets and 12 valleys, and you know what I mean. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, most of them are ranch homes, 4 on 12 pitch, 4 facets, like pretty basic. That's when a software like Roofer is even better because you can do the DIYs for very little money. What is it, $2 compared to 18 bucks?
$3 a report, basically.
Right. So I mean, you're talking huge cost savings, especially when, a single sales rep might be doing 3 appointments, 4 appointments a day. You're talking $60 a day worth of savings per rep. I mean, it definitely adds up and makes a difference. So yeah, I think where you're
Let's stop talking about those guys though. But I just had Blue Collar Media Group send me this video. I did a streaking video. I haven't uploaded it yet. I haven't even gotten to watch it yet, but I've been distracted here. I'm gonna try to watch it here in a minute.
Hope it's blurred in all the right places.
Very, very small sensor bar.
Well, whatever works. That's hilarious, John. Okay, we do have another one from the audience here. What is your best advice for expanding into a new geographical area or market?
Find a, a team of people that are from that market. Um, that I believe that's the key. Yeah. In roofing, and in home services, let's just say that in home services, homeowners, they want to hire local. Like, for the most part, they want to believe that you're a local company. Whether you're big, small, medium, it doesn't matter. They just want to feel that you're local, part of the community. They can trust that you're not going anywhere, whatever. So for me, I started a location in Morgantown, West Virginia, which is about 2.5 hours from where I live. Not super far, but far enough. Like, there's a lot of people that live there and don't know where Marietta's at. So, like, it's far enough. Uh, what we did was we hired a team of guys that were all from that surrounding area. They All their friends on Facebook are from that area. The people they went to high school and college with are from that area. Their families are all living throughout that area. So immediately we have an audience, a large audience from that area, that have a direct relationship with a team member of ours. If we were to like transplant, let's say I live in Marietta. Let's say we hired someone out of Columbus and relocated them to Morgantown, which you can do. Like that, people do that often. That guy's gonna have zero audience in Morgantown. Like nobody on social media, nobody in his contact list on his phone, in his email list. Nobody's gonna be in Morgantown. So like, there's literally he's not helping you at all gain traction with customers. So you have to build a team that's local to the area, and can bring on that local face that you need to have in the market.
All right. Anything from you, John, or your co-sign him?
I got distracted by the streaking video.
Streaking video again. That's gonna be it's gonna be your downfall today.
What was the question though?
The question is, what advice do you have for people that are wanting to expand to a new
Oh, okay. This is actually something I've been exploring a little bit. I haven't made the jump yet, but um, really, I mean, the big thing that I'm gonna really be focusing on is having a well optimized Google business profile, right? Because I mean, number one, I mean, it's gonna be almost a free source of leads. And the more you can kind of build up a review base on that GBP, the more people you're going to attract the attention of, right? But I would also really kind of tell people to do their research in regard to like positioning that in an area of the type of business that you want to actually attract, right? So you don't want to expand to an area where people don't live if you're focusing on residential. You don't want to expand to an area that doesn't have a lot of businesses if you're going to focus on commercial. Um, so know the market and do your research before you just jump into that. And like ultimately, I mean, the plan for us is like I would like to expand across the entire state. And my plan is just to get about 2 hours away from home base and then go another 2 hours beyond that until I get to the East Coast, right? Um, but have we made that jump yet? No, still planning. It took me 2.5 years to actually start this whole thing. So I don't think it's going to take that long for me to expand out, but I do want to make sure that where we set up that remote office, it's going to be around the type of people that we actually want to attract. So good amount of homes, good amount of businesses, and in between like two larger cities, if at all possible.
Yeah. Take your time. Find what works.
I am.
I think that's good. Right, we did have another question come through. Would you merge both roles of office manager and production manager with a VA?
No. I just can't. So I've said some I feel like a broken record sometimes because I've said some of this stuff before, but like where I live, that's the broken record part. But unfortunately, I have to explain it because where I live, people don't they're not real accepting of foreign folks. So VAs are typically foreign, right? So like when they get to talk to somebody on the phone, they want to talk to somebody with a drawl. They want to talk to somebody with an accent. You know what I mean? That sound like they're from the hills. Um, if you answer the phone, you sound like you're from the Philippines. They're gonna put it this way. When I had that going on, because I did this, I tried it because I love the idea of VAs and what they offer, especially through SMA support. They're great. Like they're so good. The amount of people that would call my office line and then get my phone number and either email me, text me, or call me and tell me that um, I was being scammed, that somebody was like taking my phone number and scamming me and trying to scam them. It was just crazy. So I had to quit that. So for production, absolutely not. For office management, again, my office manager is my bookkeeper. She does bookkeeping, HR work. So like right now, my mom is working on some stuff to make us a drug-free company. So we get some different discounts because all my people are drug-free. So why not take advantage of that? We might as well get the discounts with workers' comp and insurance and different things. So she's working on that right now. Um, that's kind of stuff is really difficult to do when you're not local. So just because there's hoops to jump through, there's things to do, even papers to go sign. You know, um, my mom has a stamp with my signature on it. She can just go sign for me. So I can't give that to someone halfway across the world. So, yeah, that's no, my office manager is literally my lifesaver. I can't put that in anyone else's hands. That's where it's at.
Mm, I think that makes sense. Keep sending your questions through. We do have about 8 minutes left of the show and would love to get any questions that you guys have remaining answered. But outside of that, what how do you guys typically prepare for handling bad weather?
You got to keep a really close pulse on the weather down here. Um, like we look at the forecasts often, and our crews know to look at the forecasts often too. I mean, you live here in Florida, Alley. I mean, like rain can come at any point, even if it's not in the forecast. So not not biting off more than you can chew is really really important. I mean, we don't want to have a roof torn off and then a torrential downpour come. We want to take it off in bite-sized chunks. So tear off one slope, dry it in, and tear off another one while that one's getting dried in. And that really kind of helps us prepare for avoiding disasters, I guess. Beyond that, though, I mean, if there is rain in the forecast for the entire day, I mean that job's just unfortunately getting moved back. It's part of it's part of what we all do. People understand. The people that wouldn't understand that though are the people that aren't communicated with. So as long as you're keeping them in the loop and you're doing your job, from the production side, people aren't going to be ticked off about you protecting their home.
Makes sense to me. We did, Scott, somebody asked, since you're from an area with uncertain winters, how do you prepare for that specifically?
So and this is not a bragging statement. This is just a fact. One thing that I've always done since day one has been cash heavy. I believe in being as cash heavy as possible. Uh, that also kind of plays into my whole no deposit strategy. Like I don't take deposits. I get to do that because we're cash heavy. I don't need your money to do your job. I'll do your job and then you pay me, right? That plays really well into our winters. We're cash heavy going into the winter. We've got a pile of money sitting in the bank that's there to pay the overhead, pay the bills, keep the lights on, pay for investments into next year, do all the things that we need to do to grow the company. And mind you, John and I were actually talking about this. We went on a fishing boat there a few weeks ago, and I am going to be taking a step potentially next year at real growth. I haven't tried to grow the company, like literally tried in a few years, and we still grow. But that's because we do the right things. We treat people right. We make good choices. We do what we say we're going to do. That you'll grow if you just do that. Like you don't have to do anything special. Uh,
100%.
yeah, this isn't hard. Your competitors suck. Like 9 out of 10 of your competitors suck. All you gotta do is just not suck. Um, but in the wintertime, we just all year long, like right now, I take a salary. I get paid a salary. I'm not dipping into the kitty. The kitties grow. And the kitty's gonna shrink all winter long, and that's okay. We know that's gonna happen. Like that's part of our cycle. Our the most money I ever have is about Christmas time, and then she shuts off. The faucet gets turned off, and we don't quit spending. We continue to spend. We're building processes. We're doing advertising. We're doing events. We're doing all these things to stay in the public eye during the off season. It's okay. We're not making any money. We know that, but we're preparing for the new season to where when the new season strikes, we're hitting the ground 100 mile an hour. We're not, and that's why we always do so well. Come March, April, depending on when the season starts, because it kind of depends each year. We're rocking as soon as the weather breaks. So, yeah, that's it.
That makes sense to me. Julian had a couple questions here for you. They're in their first year of business and just hit 400K. Healthy margins, fast growing, decent processes, 5 stars, all that. They have good traction locally over their competitors coming from quite literally ground zero. But with winter approaching, he's a bit unsure where he should be focusing to hit the 2 million. Do you have any high level tips?
Yeah.
Additionally, completely organic with minimal LSA leads to add in.
Yeah, okay, and John may or may not agree with this, but this is like a perfect candidate to just really be hammering organic social. Even the boost post button, like that everybody thinks is bullshit. It's not. Especially when you're small. I'm doing it right now. Like, and I'm not big. Like, let's be clear. I'm not running some big operation, but it's medium. I would call it medium. We're not small anymore, but we're not big. We're medium. I even think the big guys can utilize that tactic. The boost post thing is so easy. It's fairly inexpensive. It's super direct. So, okay, if you're doing $400,000 a year, let's say you're doing 10,000 average job cost, that's 40 jobs a year on an arm, kind of weather. That's a job a week. Okay. So what you can be doing is putting, let's say $50 with each one of those jobs. Take photos of that job, post it on your social, put $50 on a boosted post with that on a 1 mile radius. So now all the houses in that community right around that job site, they're going to see your social post. For $50, I bet you'd land another job. I almost bet. Now make sure you got signs in the yard. You've hung door hangers and canvassed. Like all those things add up. But I bet even just with boosting the post, you can probably land another job. But if you canvass it, put signs in the yard, make sure your truck is in the driveway during the production or something. John's got the nice like blow up things that you can put in the yard. Whatever you can do to advertise that job site to the neighbors, you'll sell more projects in that neighborhood. You'll have zero cost acquisition or almost zero. That's when you start crushing.
Yeah, 100%. Now's the time to, as you approach that slow season and things, really get involved locally with the community and stuff. Go to chamber events, go to networking events, make connections with people. But then on top of that, never lose sight of the basics, right? Um, so just like Scott was saying, I mean, make sure that you're out canvassing. Canvas before the actual appointment. Canvas while the job's going on. Let people know who you are and what you're all about. Have a conversation with them at the door, because end of the day, people like to buy from other local people. And the more your name gets out there, the more your brand gets out there, you don't need to spend a lot of money on marketing, especially in the early days. But what you need to focus on is just outworking everybody else that, you need to beat. And that's it.
We was talking about it last week. The beautiful thing about being small is you get to cut everybody's throat. You don't have to make as much money as everybody, as the big guys. The bigger guys have to make a certain amount to cover overhead. When you're doing $2 million, you ain't got overhead. Or you shouldn't have much overhead. And if you do, you need to really reevaluate that, because at $2 million, your overhead should be super low. Guess what? That means your price can also be low, and you can win a shitload of work.
Well, there it is. It's 5:30, so I think that concludes our Roofer to Roofer show for today. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciated all the questions coming in from the audience, and we very much look forward to seeing you guys back here on Monday at 4:30. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, John.
You guys.
You guys.
Have a good day. Bye, y'all.